everyone, and welcome to another mind blower construction update here at Fun Spot Kissimmee. My name is Jim from WildGravityTravels.com, and we're starting out with a look at the sky here. We can see that lift is gaining more structure, more woodwork. It's been a little over a week since our last update. I know it's been a little longer than usual. Sorry about that. So we can see the lift here is, we have some base under that top of the lift. This is the top of the lift right here. And then we see some turn structure going into that first drop there on the right. So as we see all of that, underneath that lift you see some wood structure going in. That's likely for like a support of a small motor or sprocket to deal with the chain. We'll be watching that to see for all of that. Coming up, we'll take a look at the wood shed now, protecting the lift motor for a mine blower, but that'll be towards the end of our look at the actual construction site. We're going to go around inside the park and check out all the turns. Some of the turns we'll be checking out are these two right here. We have this high bank one that looks like it comes out of one of these two spots, and then we have the one that's returned to station right here. So here we are from inside the park, and we can see that top of the lift and this first drop area going in right here. We can also see some near vertical support beams for track. And again, that's likely for the near 90 or actual 90-degree turn, 90-degree bank turn right there. And as we pull back out, we can see that comes out of the crossover area. You can see that turn there. We'll walk down and take a look, walk down a little bit further, take a look at that in just a moment. Here we can see the lift, some of the lift getting good wood structure work right here. And then on down, we'll be checking out the station, which pretty much has all of its gates and woodwork pretty much done. You can see right there. Sorry for the little bit of shaky there. We also see that high turn starting progress here, and that comes out into that high turn progress comes out here, and that goes into the station final brake run. As we're walking, if you guys take a brief look through the fence and see the wood right here, that's actually for the inversion going over the station, and we'll end up over here. What looks to be some new supports going in on the other end, or what I used to call the quiet end, which is no longer the quiet end. As we zoom into the station right here, we can see those safety gates and load gates all in place now. Looks like there's some mechanics underneath the station already going in place. So we'll take a look at that once we get a little bit closer. Closer to where we're standing now, we see a lot of the woodwork in place for mine blower right here. And then of course down through the fence here, this is the valley of the first drop that we can see right here. Pretty much all the work right now, actual on the structure, is being focused on the lift. Looks like they're working on the woodwork for the lift hill, and that's right there. We see some workers, and then we see some workers right up here. So the top of the lift is right there. The highest point of the coaster is right there, as indicated by Old Glory, the American flag, peaked high above there. That's always the indication of the highest point on a coaster during construction, or usually it's a tradition of the construction companies to put the American flag up at the highest point that they will build. So down here we see the valley of the first drop, and then you can see how that sort of twists up and over the station. We don't see any more progress from what we saw about 10-11 days ago during our last update just yet. But we do see some more, as I mentioned, see some more supports right here where the inversion will likely come out. Will be right here. So here's a look at that station. Definitely a lot more mechanics than we've seen before. Right in here you can see they've attached the pieces to each other. Kind of dark to see there. We'll have some better pictures, not from the darkness, coming up. Looks like you can see a silver pneumatic right there, and that's going to be to open and close the gates. As we turn around, we can take one more look at that lift hill right here, and the progress they're making on that with the woodwork all over the place. Looks like about 4 or 5 people up there on the lift right now. A couple people on the exit of the station right here. To my right, talking and working, as you can hear. So So that's the first drop, and the lift, we can see all the woodwork taking place on that. So taking one final look from inside the park here, we see the lift structure. You can see a lot better of the woodwork they're doing there on the lift as we zoom in right here. You can see they're doing the track work basically all right here. And then as we pull back out, you can see the station. Some workers just outside the station working on some probably braking pneumatics, maybe getting that ready to go. And then right here we see the supports. This is actually will be coming out of the inversion, which comes over the station right. Basically imagine the opposite corner from this corner of the station we're looking at, and goes around and comes right here. Coming up, we'll take a look at all these supports over here, the start of the double down, the hills, and how much progress that's been making, as well as a couple other little side projects going on at Fun Spot Kissimmee. And that's starting right with this Zamperla surfboard type ride has been removed. There's still signs of it here. It was called like Surfs Up. It was a little like surfboard if you ever rid like the little discs that go back and forth. We now see that the little surfboard ride has been removed. This could be actually for station development. It is right next to the station. This could be for like the line for Mine Blower. Could be put right here. We're not really sure. We'll see. Maybe that's the reason this is still just open and there haven't been stairs built. Maybe they're actually planning to build a bridge across for the entry and have the entrance right over here. We'll just have to wait and see what's going on with that. So here's that empty footprint right in front of Mine Blower where Surf's Up used to be. For the post related to this, I will try to find a picture of Surf's Up. I'm not sure if we have one or not, but we will take a look on that. With the station, while we're here, we can actually see the roof has been more finished, given more roof structure than just wood at this point. So it's getting more support, and we can also see a really cool wide angle of the first drop and the lift. You can see a turn now going into place up there right before the first drop. So you'll drop off the lift right here where the American flag is, go around on a little slight bank turn, and then go down that first drop. Go down, and you will come up right about here, twist over the station, and go into those supports right there, where you will likely enter the double down, which is what we'll be taking a look at after a brief look at Hot Seat's progress. So taking a look at Hot Seat, the scream and swing that was actually removed for the construction of Mine Blower. They've been rebuilding this on the other side of the park. We see a control panel has now gone into place for the ride. It looks like they're about to put the seats back on finally. The cables have not yet been put in place. Looks like there is some cable now on site though, or the cables have come back. And here over this genie lift, we can see the seats waiting to be installed on those poles hanging right there. So this is just like a giant swing for those of you who have never done or heard of a scream and swing. I know I talk about it a lot on our updates. Basically just imagine air pressure just pushes you back and forth, and there's the air pressure tank, or compressed air, basically just pushes those pulleys, spindles, whatever you want to call them, up there, and they swing back and forth. And it'll be a really fun ride from this position over the water. So coming up next, we'll be going back to looking at Mine Blower from the outside of the park and check out the supply lot. Stay tuned. So back out here on the other end in the parking lot, we can see a lot of awesome sweeping shots of the coaster Mine Blower under construction. First we see this sweeping turn we've been showing you has a hilltop now and comes down into this area by the station and that. Here's a look at the inversion. Not a whole lot of progress on the coming out of the inversion supports rather, or the supports going over. It looks like they've kind of held off on that project for just a moment. As we walk past this blue pole, we can see more supports coming out of the double down, more supports and track work going on all over the place right here. Looks like next in this area will be the rest of the turns to be completed, as well as more track work to be completed here on the start of the double down, which is this hill right up here. Now I want to turn around into the parking lot and show you guys something neat that you don't always get to see up close. And here we've got a few parts from Mine Blower waiting to be installed, and one of my favorite parts, ironically, is the brakes. And the brakes, obviously, are brakes. And this is a look at the brakes and the wiring from the brakes as they have arrived. It looks like that'll probably be going into the station or something like that soon. We see a few boxes here. We also see a few motors. Could likely be for transfer if there is going to be a transfer track. I don't know if there will be or not. Also could be for any sort of thing. We see some little wheels with motors there. So begin to look at the brakes. These are friction brakes. So what there is, there's just basically little panels beneath the train, a little plate, if you will, and that plate runs right through those brakes, and they use pneumatics or hydraulics, one of the two. I'm not an engineer, sorry, to close the brakes and stop you, obviously, stop the train. So a really cool close-up look at some coaster parts you don't often see. Maybe we'll get to see the lift hill chain, as I have not seen that yet on site, and they are not quite ready for the install of the lift hill chain. But here is a look at the lift hill. And the rest of the coaster. So this is a cool wide angle shot right here of pretty much all of Mind Blower. One of my favorite shots to look at. Probably going to get a turn put in our way here sooner or later. Really glad they've waited to put this turn in last so that we can really see and get a glimpse of everything Mind Blower from this end of the project. So here's a closer up look of the track that will come out of. This will likely, this area, I'm gonna pan over really quick. This is you're gonna come out of the inversion here, like I've mentioned, probably go into a wide turn right here where there's no supports or track right now, obviously, and then go into this hill right here, which is the double down crossover element. I would imagine that's the way you're gonna turn, unless I'm completely wrong, which I have been before, and we'll be keeping an eye on all that, but it's really cool to get up close to the track right here and see all the progress they are making. As we walk across the parking lot right here now, get a little tree in the way here, but once we come to the other side, you'll see the massiveness of the project and how far they've really come since they went vertical many, many, many weeks ago at this point. So here's a little sun in your eyes, sorry about that. This is the top of the double down hill, and then of course you go down and across right here. So this is all pretty exciting to see. It looks like one area of the parking lot is roped off. They're building more taller supports again, likely to finish that turn up here that comes off of the lift and goes into the first drop. So, or the first big drop. I guess I should be saying first big drop. Some people will correct me and say that the first drop is that little bit of like 5-foot drop off the top of the hill. And the actual first major drop, of course, is that big, tall, angled one. So here's one more look at the double down, where we come out of the double down and go across into that high bank turn. And a couple more hills above that, crossing over, the coaster crossing over itself multiple times. We see a lot of wood piled up here for track work and baseboarding work taking place. So now we're going to slide on down real quick here, take a look at this little housing unit they've built for the lift hill motor to keep it protected. Obviously a very important piece of mechanical equipment. And you can see they built it a little shed. Isn't quite Kings Island and Mystic Timbers with what's in the shed there. Here, there's just a lift hill motor in the shed. So we can see that right there. So wrapping up our look at Mind Blower from the supply lot as always. We can see more track pieces have arrived, even more steel pieces all around here, and then even more support structure over here in the other supply lot. Over in the main supply lot, we still see those two steel twisting cylinder type machines sitting there. Obviously we're not to the track work just yet. Looks like they're going to do all of the baseboard work, maybe even all the supports and track work before moving on to the steel work. Doesn't look like any of the steel that arrived quite a few weeks ago now, probably over a month I believe, that we were the first to bring you. Looks like it is all untouched at this time. So that'll wrap things up for us here at Fun Spot Kissimmee. Once again, my name is Jim from WildGravityTravels.com. Stay more informed by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wild Gravity Travels. On Twitter, it's at WildGravityTRVL. You do not have to spell travels. Have a great week ahead, everybody, and we will see you out and about at the parks.